Joe Rogan, a mystery has been solved. He did want Kamala Harris to come on the show, and now he is announcing that she hasn't officially said no. What she said was, according to Rogan, she won't fly to Austin, Texas, where his show is based, and she won't sit for 3 hours, which is what he does with his guests. She said, you come to me and I'll give you one. How obnoxious is she? And then you've got people like former ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul, out there tweeting at Joe Rogan saying, come on, her schedule's a lot busier than yours is. Joe, get on a private plane and go to where she is. And Joe said, I really think my show works best from its home base, and she's got a wide open invitation to come anytime. She won't do it. First of all, is there a person on earth who thinks Kamala Harris can handle a 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan? I mean, she knows she can't. Her team knows she can't. And so they said, okay, maybe just an hour to try to make it a deal breaker so that he would be the one to say no. And they said, you have to come to us, which, again, they're setting these impossible conditions so that he'll say no. And he's just standing there saying, this is the Joe Rogan show. You do it here in my studio. I'll fly you down. We sit, we chat for 3 hours. That's the show. I don't change the show for you. You either want to do it or you don't. This is the way it's being offered to you. And she won't do it. And it's just, Trump did it. You don't think Trump's busy? Trump did it on Friday. He was late, which then he got panned by the media for, to his Michigan rally because it went on for 3 hours and he sat there without complaint and did it. She won't do it because she knows she can't. Oh, and by the way, she knows the ratings would not hold a candle to those that Donald Trump got. There is a report out today that now J.D. Vance is going to do Rogan. I've got to say, it's a little weird. It'll probably get great ratings, but it's a little weird to have the warm-up act come after the star. It's a little, should have gone the other way. But if I'm Team Trump, I'm probably doing that too anyway, right? Get him out there. Get an unvarnished view between J.D. Vance and Joe Rogan's massive audience who've been misled about him, about Trump. Yes, so she's not going to do it, and I don't think any of us is particularly shocked she's not going to do it. Now, she did do an interview with Shannon Sharpe, who's got a podcast called, what is it, Shay Shay? I don't know what. Club Shay Shay. Okay, so it's a no to Joe Rogan, but it's a yes to Club Shay Shay, where she knows, with all due respect to Mr. Sharpe, she's not going to get any sharp questioning. And I would submit to you all that it didn't go particularly well. She brought her same awkwardness and discomfort to this interview that she brings to all of them. I give you SOT 1.
What's a typical day like for you now once you've been thrust into this? What time are you normally getting to bed? What time are you getting up? And what's some of the activities that you do in a given day?
I'd probably estimate 14-hour, 15-hour days.
Okay.
When I wake up, no matter how little sleep or how much sleep I've had, I work out every morning.
Okay.
Because
yes.
It's like mind, body, and spirit, right?
14-hour days. So what, you wake up at 7 and you go to bed at 9? How is that? How is that an impressive thing to offer when you're trying to say, I'm so busy? That's how busy she is. She can't go down to Austin to sit with Joe Rogan because she's doing 14-hour days. Presumably she means out there, out on the campaign trail and maybe some padding after that. But I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Then he asked her about advice she'd give to her 18-year-old self. And oh my God, she drudged up one of our least favorite Harrisisms. Watch.
I would probably encourage myself at 18 to remember that you have a lot of people who are supporting you, even if they don't know you. That's what I mentor a lot of people, Shannon. So this is what I'm really reflecting on. We're not alone in that room.
Wait for it.
And that you must therefore walk in that room, chin up, shoulders back, knowing we're all there applauding you. When I mentor young women and men, I remind them that you are often going to be told, well, it's not your time, not your turn, you're too young, nobody like you has done this before. And I tell them, don't you ever listen to that. I like to say, I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear no. You ask me what I eat for breakfast? I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear it.
Right.
And that's part of what are my life lessons that I try to share.
I eat yogurt, but okay. And I don't feel the need to keep telling everybody every day. I know for breakfast. Yeah, tough guy. We've basically got another Schwarzenegger right here. That's how tough she is. You got Rambo is now running on the Democratic ticket. I know for breakfast. Okay, do you? Because you're too chicken shit to even answer a question directly. So I'm kind of not feeling the tough guy routine, but love to take you at your word. Speaking of her word, we did, of course, get another recitation of her favorite canned lines, more Harrisisms. Take a listen to SOT 6.
Americans in general, regardless of their race or gender, we have ambition, we have aspirations, we have dreams, but not everyone has access to the opportunity that lets them actually accomplish that. And back to the way I was raised, I know that the children of the community are the children of the community. Look, I did it, and it means, trying to cook for an elder, to make something they feel like eating, right? To help them put on a sweater.
A sweater. She got it. Nailed. She has no original thoughts. She's got her few canned stories. She looks for how she can jam it into any question she's asked, and she makes damn sure she will never tread new ground. She is so risk averse and not a deep thinker. So there's no ability to just think on your feet. I mean, you know how many interviews anybody in the public eye has given? And yeah, you got to come up with new stories to keep things interesting because you don't want the same audience just hear the same stories over and over and over again. Of course, there'll be some repetition, but like any person who continues to lead an interesting life, like let's say if they become the vice president, should have more than enough material. She either has a bad memory, doesn't stay in touch with herself and her reactions to her life experiences, or she's just incredibly timid and thin. I think it's the last. Thin intellectually. It's on display in virtually every interview she gives, which is why she cannot possibly do something like Rogan. Whereas we discussed yesterday, Trump went from what's happening to the whales in the water because of the windmills, there's some alliteration for you, to what's happening in the UFC, to do we have aliens, to how did you defeat ISIS, to tell us about the White House, enemy within, all this, everything. There's not a chance she could do it, and she won't do it. Then she had this little ditty. This is on a different campaign stop where she went to Ann Arbor, Michigan. And she's done this once before that I know of. We saw a clip of it last week, and I was like, what is she doing? It failed miserably. And she's so clueless. She did it again. Like a comedian, they'll try out a bit, and if it fails, then they eliminate it from their set. Sometimes I'll make fun of Doug in front of our friends, and he'll give me a hard time, and I'll say, what do you mean? That's part of my bit. And then he'll tell me to eliminate it from my act. Anyway, she doesn't understand when you get negative feedback. You should remove it from your bit. It didn't work. And man, oh man, it didn't work again in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Let's watch SOT 9.
Each of you to shout your own name. Do that. Because it's about all of us. It's about all of us.
Nothing. What is she saying? They're shouting Kamala, Kamala. And then she says, now I want each of you to shout your name. So everybody's out there going, Megyn, Steve, and Debbie, Cal. What? Why would she think that would be? You could hear the crowd's confusion. There's just kind of a pause. There's murmuring. No one's doing it. They're like, what is she asking? She's so dumb. She's just not good with people at all. And there's no reason to think she's good without the people either. She doesn't seem to be particularly good behind the scenes either. While she was in Michigan, she went to a semiconductor plant. And this moment reminded me of so many of the SOTs we've seen of her. SOT is sound on tape. It's short for, it's a soundbite, where she tries to explain to us what outer space is, talk about school buses like this, try to explain that Ukraine is a country That Kamala showed up at the semiconductor plant, and the following happened.
Here is actually a harvested U-rod where we actually do grow it. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of our processing bag. Do not touch it.
Do not.
Yes.
I'm glad I asked.
Please do not touch any of the
And I won't touch
very
it.
sharp. Very
Yes.
sharp. Yeah,
Okay.
very sharp.
Okay,
So
and shiny.
with that being said,
Oh, God. It's shiny. It's so shiny. That's literally what you say when you're trying to mock somebody. Why would she do that to herself? It's shiny. Can I touch it? No, do not touch it. By the way, in her defense, where are her briefers? Like, you think like her staff would say, hey, Madam Vice President, we're going to go in there. You don't want to look stupid. So like, don't touch any of this stuff. It could actually hurt you. What? She doesn't listen. This is a theme in her life. This is why half her staff left. More. It was like 90% of her staff left in the first term, in the Biden presidency, because she didn't do her homework. This is when the left-wing press was still reporting on her, honestly. She didn't do her homework. Then she would yell at everybody for her being unprepared. Here she is again. I'll bet you they did tell her, don't touch it. It can hurt you. Can I touch it? It's shiny. That's going to be the person in charge of the nuclear football? I don't think so. I don't think so. You know how much my family and I love our dogs, right? I can't imagine life without them. They've got a great life, but some dogs are not so lucky. This is why I'm so glad to tell you about Delta Rescue. This is the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They've rescued thousands of dogs, plus cats and horses too. And they provide all their animals with shelter, safety, and most of all, love. And they've been doing it now for more than 45 years. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open, and giving can bring tax benefits too. Speak with your estate planner about how you can grow your estate while helping animals in need. Check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more. We love our Thunder and Strudwick, but would love for other dogs who need love and attention and a home to find them too. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.